Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on high-performance computing. Today, my guests are from Texas Memory System. We have Eric Eyberg, who is a senior analyst, and for Q&A today, we have Holly Frost, who's the CEO. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks, Rich. Good to be here. This is Eric.
Hey, Rich, this is Holly Frost. This is the first time I've talked to you, I think.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on today. So I guess we'll start with you, Eric. I brought your slides up, so just tell me when to change slides, and we'll take it from there.
Sure. So starting at the first slide, as you can see, you've probably never seen RamSan-720 before. That's because it's a brand new product. It's what we're introducing today. And we're very excited to see how it'll develop in the market because it offers true built-in high availability, which is something which is different from our previous products. So in terms of positioning, if you go to the first slide after the title, we're targeting users who want to run many applications on the same flash storage system. Previous Texas Memory Systems products have been focused on single-purpose kinds of deployments where they're running one big Oracle database or one big strategic application on one RamSan or on a pool of RamSans. And now we can hit the capacity points and the high availability in hardware in the system so that we can target users who want to run multiple applications. So that's our positioning for this new product. And if you go to the next slide, the key features are that it offers either 6 or 12 terabyte usable capacity points, and that's excluding our second level of RAID protection, which I'll talk a bit about later. It is a complete SAN-attached flash storage system in a 1U box, and it's based on single-level cell flash technology, which offers the peak performance and reliability characteristics for all workloads running on flash. We offer several highest attributes. We offer high availability, and then the absolute highest performance and reliability you'll find at these capacity points in this form factor. It is the highest SLC flash density which you can get in any single unit system, and it does all that with astonishingly low power at only 300 to 400 watts, which is a third to a quarter of the power of comparable systems out there. So moving into the high availability aspect of things, this is the first RamSan storage system which offers true no single point of failure operation. That means that inside the box we have redundancies covering both power and data paths that ensure that if one component fails, we can always fail over to a second one. We complement that with 4 layers of data correction, including 3 layers of RAID and 1 standard ECC level as well. And we're proud to introduce our new 2-dimensional flash RAID technology, which is something we don't think anyone else out there is doing. So we have 3 independent levels of RAID protection on our flash storage media. Like I said, there's redundancy throughout the system, and we also offer hot swappability for the flash cards and flash modules. These all come together alongside the fact that the system runs cool due to its distributed architecture, and that can also help prolong the life of the system and contribute to the high availability aspect. So moving to the speeds and feeds, you'll see on the RamSan-720 photo slide that, again, we are targeting the 6 and 12 terabyte capacity points, and it will achieve the same performance levels as the previous RamSan-710 system, which was a 1 to 5 terabyte SLC flash storage system. So you're looking at almost 500,000 IOPS and 5 gigabytes a second out of a single box with incredibly low latencies of less than 100 microseconds, and still offering the same SAN attachment through fiber channel and InfiniBand ports. So this is a high availability box, and that is the key differentiator from previous products. It offers no single point of failure, and again, that 2D RAID, which I was emphasizing before. So looking at the architecture of the system, if you go to the flash module architecture slide, we have a primary board and an optional expansion board available on each module. The module basically contains a little bit of circuitry to connect to the backplane, and then either 2 or 4 Series 7 flash controllers, which is our flagship flash controller design, completely developed in-house, which allows us to really get the performance out of the flash chips, and it brings the RAID to the flash chips by creating a RAID 5 type array across each set of flash chips that it maintains. So that's what we cover in each module. And again, this is a hardware implementation of flash management. You don't see any x86 processors. You don't see very little centralization in terms of the modules themselves. So we get the maximum performance and, again, the maximum reliability. Moving to the system as a whole, the system is conceptually very simple. We have a set of 12 of those flash modules I was just talking about. They're connected to a high-speed backplane incorporating 2 independent RAID controllers, which can talk to the flash modules using 2 independent paths. And then the RAID controllers are connected to 2 independent interfaces, external interfaces, fiber channel, that's 8 gig fiber channel, or 40 gigabit per second QDR InfiniBand interface. And there's redundancy throughout the system in terms of the data path so that if any of these components fail, we can simply recover from it and move on. The flash modules, if you move to the 2-dimensional flash RAID slide, you will see that we truly do offer 2 separate levels of RAID protection. One crossing the flash modules, that's RAID 5 across the flash modules, where we have 10 data and 1 parity and 1 active spare module. And then we have RAID within the flash modules across the chips in the flash modules, where we use a 9+1 RAID 5 type arrangement. So those 2 levels of RAID combine to provide utmost data availability and reliability under heavy performance requirements. Moving to the layers of data correction, we offer, like I said, 4 independent layers. There's the normal ECC, which everyone does. There's a simple RAID 5 array across flash chips, which allows us to handle the case of broken flash chips or failed flash chips. And then there's our patented variable stripe RAID technology, which we introduced with the Series 7 flash controller, which allows us to handle regional failures and multi-chip failures in an efficient way. The new part of this is RAID 5 across multiple flash cards, which has been a highly demanded feature and allows us to handle the cases when flash cards fail effectively. So our previous flash RamSan systems do not incorporate that new RAID across cards. So moving to the redundancies that we have in the system, we have redundancies basically everywhere. On the flash cards themselves, there are 2 independent ways to get to that data, which then feed into 2 independent RAID controllers. In terms of the overall system architecture, we have redundant management interfaces, redundant interfaces for accessing data, redundant crossbar switches and data buses, redundant RAID controllers, redundant power supplies and power distribution circuits, and redundant batteries, which provide us the ability to recover if there's a power failure, save all of our data, and put the system down in a graceful way. So those redundancies combine together, if you move to the summary slide, to provide that high availability and no single point of failure architecture. And the 2-dimensional flash RAID allows us to go even further by handling failures of modules while the system is online. We're doing all of that in only 300 to 400 watts. We offer the highest SLC storage density in the standard interfaces that you're used to. And particularly because we are doing everything to fix data at the flash controller level without expanding the scope of problems, we're saying that this is truly a complete SAN flash storage appliance without compromise. And just to give you a little insight into future directions for TMS, we're always trying to stay at the bleeding edge of flash storage technology and provide the maximum levels of performance and reliability, just like we have for over 30 years. We're looking at expanding our product assortment and expanding into management as well. And of course, building out our intellectual property portfolio. We build small and powerful flash systems just as we can build large and powerful flash systems. So we see lots of different new opportunities for employing this disruptive technology. And we're looking at the best ways to involve more partners in our distribution process. So it's an exciting time, not just because we're introducing this new product, but also because we're excited about the potential for our company. And that's pretty much all I have today, Rich.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Eric. I guess we'll start with the most recent things, and then I want to ask about the business from Holley. But you mentioned that this new device uses QDR and InfiniBand. I was wondering, is FDR in the works, or is there no demand for that quite yet?
Our customers are typically at QDR, but we have a habit of responding to their needs. So as we see more adoption of FDR, I'm sure that we'll be following that. Okay, good answer. And then, it seems to me that as you add, high availability to, a RAID system with that kind of bandwidth, 5 gigabytes a second, does that open new markets that you might not have touched before? Absolutely. So, like I said in the positioning slide at the beginning of the presentation, we're now looking at people who are wanting to run many applications on one RamSan flash storage system, and we're scaling out the capacity to allow that. But to do that effectively, you need the high availability features in hardware, because you can't depend on getting it from the application anymore. So it does open up a whole new market for us, as well as catering to the people who have even bigger databases, bigger structured data environments, things which have been our bread and butter.
And I guess just kind of a general question, do you see people just considering getting rid of the spinning rust completely with these kind of capabilities available?
Absolutely, and the bigger we can make it, the more efficient we can make it. The data size continues to grow, the physical size continues to shrink. Now we can get half a petabyte of storage based exclusively on SLC flash in one rack unit, in one full rack. And that's really opening new doors for us.
Well, terrific. So Holley, question for you. We were talking before we started recording, and I think you said you've been CEO for, was it over 30 years?
Yes, that's right. I've been CEO over 30 years, although, the first 5 years I was mainly a chief engineer trying to keep the company going. Sure.
So, and I'm wondering, characterizing, the products back then, right? You had these big, what were they, DRAM based memory devices, or what did you start out with?
Yes, originally, in fact, until about 2000, all of our products, for like 23 years, all of our products were based on special interfaces. That was before Fiber Channel and InfiniBand had come out, so we had to do our own interfaces, and that was probably one of our bottlenecks to growing, because there wasn't a standard interface out there until Fiber Channel came along. We were doing DRAM based. It wasn't DDR, it was SDR, single data rate RAMs. In fact, the first box had 16 megabytes in it.
And I'm wondering about the price points over the years. Have they stayed kind of stable for what customers could afford, so much for fast storage, and just the density and the speed has gone up, or has it been more lumpy than that?
Well, I think what really happens is, at any point in time, whether it's this year, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, everybody had a certain amount of money to spend, and they would spend that much money on as much memory or as much storage as they could afford. In the old days, I remember memory cost $8,000 for 8 kilobytes. $8,000 for 8 kilobytes, not megabytes, kilobytes. And so hardly anybody had 64 kilobytes, because now it's $64,000. These are in small computers, mini computers, and things like that. And and as people get more storage for the dollar, they need more storage per dollar, and it's an ongoing thing. People have been asking me over the years, what are you going to do when we have twice the storage and they don't need any more storage? Well, they've been saying that for 15 years, and originally they thought 3 gigabytes, they could conquer the world with 3 gigabytes, and now we have 3 gigabytes on a SIM module. So it's an evolutionary thing. We always try to give people the best storage we can come up with, the best cost effectiveness, the best power, the best low power, high performance, high reliability. We always look at those 3 things: high performance, high reliability, and low power, because we know that people have to pay for power in 2 ways. They pay for the cost of electricity, then they have to pay for cooling the unit with their air conditioners, and so it's a double-edged sword. And we're continually doing that. In fact, this new product is not only has high availability, but it also has almost 2.5 times the capacity of our previous product, and it's still in the same form factor. We're still using the same 32 nanometer Toshiba flash unit, and we're still dissipating. We're dissipating a little more power, about 50 to 100 watts more power than the RamSan-710. So it's a good compromise, and everybody can gain. The price points are about the same as the 710. We're selling it for less than $20 a gigabyte usable SLC. On the 810, we're selling that at about $9 a gigabyte for usable eMLC. That's for our 810. But I get a plug-in for the 810 there, because we're still selling lots of 810s and 710s. The 720 is for people that either need a bigger capacity, or they need the higher availability, or potentially they need both of these. With this new feature in our products, I think we can attack a bigger market, but still the market we're in right now that doesn't need the high availability. They still want high reliability. They just don't maybe need the highest availability, and they don't want to pay for the extra availability. With this new product, people can get the new high availability at about the same price as they used to get the highest reliability RamSans. And so we're not taking anything away from the old products. They are very good for people that need 1 to 5 terabytes of storage. This new box can go to 12 terabytes of storage. If you put a couple of these boxes together, you can have 36 gigabytes of storage in 3U, which is that's lots of storage.
Yeah. So kind of a wrap-up question here, Holly. There's since you started there with flash technology today, it seems like there's just hundreds of startups that are offering all kinds of different flavors and solutions out there for fast memory devices. What kind of challenges does that present to you as kind of the old guard in this space?
Well, a lot of these startups are putting together systems made up of components that are inherently slow, and they try to take a RAID enclosure that's designed for disk drives and put solid-state disk into it and claim it goes really fast. And now they're making the RAID controllers a little faster. So we have our biggest problem is everybody thinks the startups have more intellectual property than we do, and we do have a lot of intellectual property behind us. Over the years, we've done DRAM, we've done fiber channel, we had a Unibus controller, we've had all kind of controllers, S-bus controllers. So we've done our share of controllers. So we know controllers. We also know flash. We've done MLC flash, SLC flash. We've gone through a couple of generations of this, and so we kind of have an edge because we've done a lot of the stuff that they're doing right now over the years. So we know what is possible and what we can do. We try to keep our systems as simple as possible. You saw the block diagram. If you look at anybody else's block diagram, they might have the same blocks, but they got more than 5 or 10 watts per box.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, Holly Frost and Eric Eyberg, I want to thank you both for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rich.
You bet, guys.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay. That's it for the Rich Report, folks. Stay tuned for more news and information on high-performance computing.